2 of the top causes of breast cancer are preventable. Yes, you are in control. As cancer survivors, we are often told that cancer is a mystery. Something happened, something random. But that is not the full story. Of course, there are still things that we do not understand about cancer, but there are also clear, evidence-based, proven risk factors that you can do something about. When you focus on the risk factors that you can control, you change your future. You start stacking the odds in your favor. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do in this video. Let me show you the top 4 causes of breast cancer and 2 that are preventable. But first, the big cancer myth that cancer is random. This is one of the biggest myths I hear. Cancer is just bad luck. It's like Russian roulette. But here's the truth. Yes, cancer is complex. And yes, sometimes people do everything right and they still get diagnosed. But that doesn't mean that cancer is just purely random. There are modifiable risk factors that absolutely influence your risk. Now, understanding these risk factors is not about blame. It's about empowerment. Because when you understand what you can change, you take back power that cancer tried to steal from you. We'll start with the 2 biggest causes of breast cancer that are not within your control. Then I'll show you where you have the most power for the risk factors you can control. Number 1 is your age. This is uncontrollable. The first major risk factor for breast cancer is your age. As we get older, the risk of cancer increases. That's because over time, our cells replicate over and over again. With more replication, there becomes more potential for error. Mistakes in cellular replication can result in DNA damage and can lead to cancer. This is why most breast cancer is diagnosed after the age of 50. But yes, breast cancer absolutely affects women in the younger decades of their life as well. But the data on this is clear. As your age increases, your risk of cancer increases. Now, you can't stop time. You can't stop your age. But what you can do is respond to aging in an empowered and healthy way. That means taking care of your body, especially in the years where your risk of cancer starts to increase. Okay, but on to the second uncontrollable risk factor, and this is your genetics. About 5 to 10% of breast cancer is linked to your family genetics. This is like an inherited gene mutation, like BRCA1 or BRCA2. If you have one of these genetic mutations, then your lifetime risk of breast cancer is much higher. But here's what some people absolutely do not realize. This still means that 90 to 95% of breast cancer is not because of your genetics. This means that the vast majority of breast cancer is driven by your diet, your lifestyle, your environment. So genetics absolutely do play a role, but it's absolutely not the whole story. Not even close. Okay, and that brings me to the risk factors that you can control. The preventable top causes of breast cancer. Let's start with one of the biggest and most underrated causes of breast cancer, alcohol. Here is the hard truth. Alcohol is a known carcinogen. It increases estrogen levels, it damages DNA, it fuels hormone-sensitive breast cancer. Even light drinking can increase the risk of breast cancer. There is no known safe amount of alcohol when it comes to cancer. 1 drink a day increases the risk of breast cancer by about 10%. Less than 1 drink a day still increases your risk of breast cancer. But our culture does not treat alcohol this way. You hear things like everything in moderation. A glass of red wine is good for your heart. Or you should be able to enjoy yourself. Now, just imagine if you said those same things about cigarettes. Just smoke on the weekends. Everything in moderation, right? You would never hear this from a doctor. But we hear this about alcohol all the time. How is a known carcinogen okay in moderation? But here's what I want you to know. This is not about shame. If you want to drink, you should drink. But this is about the truth and knowing the risks. If you're a cancer survivor and you're serious about lowering your risk of a cancer recurrence, then you need to look at your alcohol intake. You don't have to be perfect, but every drink you skip is going to lower your risk of cancer. I've coached over 500 women inside the Cancer Freedom Program, and reducing or eliminating alcohol is just one of many steps that we take to help you eliminate side effects and stay cancer-free for life. These women consistently sleep better, have more energy, feel stronger. Their inflammation goes down, they feel more in control, and they feel more comfortable in their bodies. And that is what matters. I'll put the link below this video so you can click there and apply to work with me inside the Cancer Freedom Program. Okay, but on to the second preventable cause of breast cancer. This one is tough. Being overweight or obese. Weight gain after cancer is so common. And look, it's not your fault. Steroids, hormonal therapy, surgery restrictions, stress eating, all of these can affect your metabolism, your energy levels, and your hormones. After my own cancer treatment, I gained 20 pounds. It was the heaviest I had ever been. And it wasn't because I was lazy. It's because my body was recovering from war. But here's what the data shows. Being overweight after having breast cancer increases your risk of recurrence. Visceral fat, that fat that's around your internal organs, well, that increases inflammation and it increases estrogen levels. And weight gain during or after cancer is linked to worse outcomes. But here's the hardest part. The treatments that may have saved your life, they actually cause you to gain weight and may increase your risk of a cancer recurrence. But you're not powerless. Here's what you're gonna do. You can break this cycle, not with crash diets, not with shame or punishment, but with sustainable strategies. Rebuild muscle mass, reduce inflammation, balance your hormones, and heal your gut. Inside the Cancer Freedom Program, that's exactly what we do. Because when you support your metabolism properly, your body responds. You get stronger, more energized, and you lower your risk of recurrence. You get to take your life back. Now, if hearing this makes you feel overwhelmed or scared, that's okay. You are not alone. This isn't about fear or guilt. This is about the truth. The truth actually gives you choices. The truth gives you power. You didn't cause your cancer, but you can influence what happens next. But aside from these top causes of breast cancer, there are other causes of breast cancer. Things like physical inactivity. Regular movement actually reduces inflammation and manages your estrogen levels. Things like poor nutrition. A plant-forward diet helps to support your immune health and detoxify your body. Poor sleep. If you have poor sleep, this can increase your stress hormones and increase inflammation. Chronic stress can drive hormonal imbalances and inflammation. And environmental exposures. This includes things like plastics or pesticides, or things like parabens can disrupt your endocrine system. But if you want to start with the two most powerful ways to prevent breast cancer, you need to start with alcohol and your weight. That is going to build a beautiful, solid foundation. Okay, but look, you don't have to be perfect and you don't have to change everything overnight. But small, consistent changes starting today can change your future. Stack the odds in your favor one step at a time. You are worth every step. Okay, so now that you know these top causes of breast cancer, the next thing you need to know is how to support your body in fighting cancer naturally. Click the video right here and I'll see you in the next video.